Teach. Here are our NFL Monday Night Football Showdown picks for Raiders at Cowboys, and we are building around why each play makes sense based on matchup, usage, ownership, and recent news. We are starting with Dak Prescott at quarterback. He projects for 19 points at 49.73% ownership against the Raiders, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 16. We like Dak as a high-floor option in balanced builds and cash because he averages 20 fantasy points per game. But we also acknowledge the ceiling has dipped lately with games of 6 and 9 before a bounce to 23. That aligns with Troy Aikman's note on NFL Live that the Cowboys' offense has been struggling over the past few games, which is why we prefer Dak more for stability than raw upside in tournaments. Now, Geno Smith is our favorite leverage quarterback for tournaments. He carries a dash rank of 100, a salary of 8,800, a 17-point projection, and 40.4% ownership against the Cowboys, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. The price to projection is strong, and that opponent rank pushes us toward the Raiders' pass game. The risk is real, though. Per the game recap, Denver sacked Geno 6 times in a 10-7 loss, and Craig Carton publicly criticized Pete Carroll for not pulling Geno after a big hit in that same game. The takeaway for us is volatility. His last 3 are 5, 27, and 3, because the matchup is soft, but the pressure risk is there. We like pairing Geno with quick-hit options and red zone pieces to capture efficiency over raw volume. At running back, Ashton Jeanty is one of our top plays. He carries a dash rank of 98 with a 17-point projection and 40.07% ownership against Dallas, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. The why is workload. He handled 19 carries for 60 yards last game, per the post-game write-up, and the recent 15 and 20-point games show the touch count is legitimate, even in a low-scoring environment. On a one-game slate, we are buying secure volume in a favorable matchup. For pass catchers, we like Brock Bowers as a ceiling captain and core flex. He projects for 16 at 38.6% ownership with a $12,000 salary against Dallas, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. The volatility is exactly what we want for Showdown upside, with a 46-point eruption 2 games ago and 4-0 around it. Multiple outlets highlighted Bowers among the top performers of Week 9 and emphasized that he has been the best tight end in the NFL this season, which matches the spike performance we are hunting in tournaments. We also like Trey Tucker as a mid-tier stacking piece with Geno. He projects for 12 at 26.5% ownership and 9,900 salary, and he faces Dallas, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. The reason is role and connection. Fans called out the Geno to Tucker strike for the Raiders' first touchdown of the season, and the wide-out room shakeup was widely reported, which increases the chance Tucker maintains or expands his route share. His last 3 of 6, 7, and 8 suggest a solid floor that fits well in Geno stacks. If you need salary relief in Geno stacks, Tyler Lockett at 5,100 projects for 7, with 25.67% ownership, and the same cushy opponent rank of 31. The why is correlation at a discount. He has 9 and 4 across his last 3 and gives us a lower-cost path to a Raiders onslaught without sacrificing too much projection. Michael Mayer at 6,000 with a 6-point projection and 17.13% ownership is our value tight end. The reasoning is role consolidation in 2 tight end sets. Local coverage called the Bowers and Mayer pairing dangerous, and Mayer's 5 and 6 in recent games fits the need for a modest salary saver who still has touchdown equity if Dallas continues to be one of the worst defenses overall, with an opponent rank of 31. On kickers, we like Brandon Aubrey slightly more than Daniel Carlson. Aubrey projects for 10 at 28.3% ownership and 8,100 salary against the Raiders, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 16. Dallas has one of the biggest legs in the league, on its side according to multiple reports, and Aubrey even won a weekly Hemi Award earlier this season, which reinforces the ceiling if drives stall. Carlson projects for 8 at 24.13% ownership and 7,500 salary against Dallas, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. The reasoning is late-game reliability and a history of clutch kicks, though the Raiders' offense did sputter in Denver with a 10-7 final. His last three include 1, 5, and 0-3 games ago, so we view Carlson as fine leverage in Raiders' heavy builds, but prefer Aubrey for raw projection. For defenses, the Cowboys' defense projects for 7 at 18.67% ownership with a 6,300 salary. The why is matchup-based pressure. That 6-sack outing by Denver against Geno was a clear red flag for the Raiders' pass protection, and if Dallas can reproduce even part of that pressure, the sack and turnover paths open up despite their low dash rank of 18. The Raiders' defense projects for 5 at 10.63% ownership with a 5,400 salary. This is purely a large field pivot. Dak's recent struggles, as highlighted by Troy Aikman, give a thin route to defensive points. But we prefer the Cowboys' defense because the Raiders' offensive line issues have already produced a 6-sack data point. Deep punts are thin, but viable for unique builds. Dylan Laube at 300 has a projected 0 with 3.3% ownership. The only reason to click him is salary relief, and his special teams profile that Raiders beat writers have praised. But the projection is near 0. So we would limit exposure. Alex Bachman at 800 projects for 1 with 0.63% ownership. That is a pure punt to jam studs with almost no expectation. We are not using Kenny Pickett at 2,900 with a projected 1. Recent reporting focused on his trades and his move to the Raiders, but on this slate he looks like a backup with almost no path to snaps, and the salary is a lineup killer. Our favorite captain allocations tonight are Brock Bowers for ceiling and Ashton Jeanty for touch-based stability in tournaments, with Dak Prescott as the safer captain in small field or cash. We will prioritize Geno Smith in the flex as a salary-efficient way to capture a soft matchup against a Cowboys unit who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. While respecting the volatility flagged by the 6-sack Denver game, and Craig Carton's criticism of Pete Carroll's in-game decision. We will rotate Trey Tucker and Tyler Lockett as mid-tier stacking partners, and we will round out with either Aubrey or Carlson, leaning Aubrey for projection. For leverage, we will include some Cowboys defense against Geno's sack risk at sub-20% ownership. That is our pool and why we are on each play for this showdown. Good luck tonight!